Hey guys, what is up? It's Alan here, and we're playing some Battlefield 3, and welcome back to another random class setup commentary. So this time we're using the An-94 with the rifle scope, foregrip, and the heavy barrel. Now I'll get more into that in a little bit. So first I want to apologise for being a bit late with the video. Um, I've been really busy with exams, and a couple of friends have had birthdays and stuff, so I haven't really had much of a chance to play Xbox Live in the past few weeks and stuff, so I apologise for that because I said I'd try and get this done every week or two, and I know this is within the 2 weeks, but still kind of upset that I didn't get another video up sooner, so sorry about that. But I'm off college now for a while, so I'll be able to upload more videos and the like, so hope that's okay. So like I said, we're using the AN-94, which we'll go into more depth with a bit later on. But we're using the Foregrip and Heavy Barrel. Now, we don't really need the foregrip as the recoil is fairly low, which I'll talk about in a bit, but I don't have any other really suitable attachments for that. In that place, like the only other thing really is the underslung barrel, but that doesn't really do anything for me because I never used a grenade launcher or whatever, so because I love the medic packs, so and the defibrillator. I don't know which one you have to get rid of, but I use them both, so that didn't really work. And I'm using the heavy barrel as well because it gives you just better accuracy over longer ranges, and the AN-94 is just amazing at long ranges. That's pretty much what it's used for, and it's mid to long ranges where it's really good at. So that's why I use the heavy barrel, though there are other good attachments to use. For example, flash suppressor, just if you don't want your enemies to know your position on the minimap, or a laser sight for them close in quarters where you can use, or close quarters, where you can blind fire and all that. It's really useful too, but I go for the heavy barrel and that's my choice. So I also use the med packs, defibrillator, and the squad ammo, I think. And my secondary is the 9-3 pistol, which I recently unlocked in co-op mode, which is really good, though I'm still getting used to it. Okay, so that brings us back now to the AN-94. So I'm using this with the rifle scope to go with my random class setup. When I was actually joining this game, I was actually trying to get the reflex sight and or the red dot sight, and I chose the wrong option. And then I'd signed off that day, and the next time I came back in to play this game, I just jumped into the class and I forgot that it still had the rifle scope on it. So I decided to play on with it anyway and try and get a good video, and this video went pretty well because I do get a score of 25 kills to 11 deaths, which I think is really good considering I'm very not used to the AN-94 and the fact that I'm using a rifle scope on it. Now, one bit of advice I'd say is use this weapon as you would a SKS or that first sniper you come with, and not as an assault rifle. You'll do so much better when it's like that, as I do, because if you stick to the background like this, and I'm not like a great player, so I'm not really offering advice, this is just what I found out while playing with it, but if you play with it like hanging out in the background like so, you get so many more kills because this gun is so accurate. And once you figure out how the recoil works, which is like it has 0.2 to the right, 0.2 to the left, and 0.3 up, which means it's more concentrating up than to the left or right, which explains why the foregrip isn't exactly necessary. But at the same time, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. No, the foregrip isn't necessary because it's balanced either way, But I throw it on anyway because, like I said earlier, there's nothing else that I would put on it. But the other recoil going up is very manageable because when you have it in burst fire mode, it just if you space your shots at a properly timed interval, you'll be hitting the same spot every time, and you'll pretty much guarantee to get the kill unless you're getting attacked by several people at once. So anyway, the rate of fire of the An-94 is like ridiculously high. Like it's 1200 rounds per minute, but that's only when you use the burst fire mode. when you use the full burst mode or the full auto mode, it goes into the 600 rounds per minute, which is half that of the burst fire. And as you can see, the burst fire is just really good for taking down enemies like quickly and effectively. And once you master the recoil, like if you panic like I sometimes do, I spam the shoot button, the bullets go everywhere and it's not as accurate, which will lead to you dying in most cases, unless your enemy is really close to you. But don't panic, don't spam it, just be accurate bursts. Don't be too slow either, but just hit it like, I'll do a video maybe explaining how to do the rhythm some other time. That'll be the best way, but you'll see me getting a few kills when I actually do it properly, and that's the way to go, I think. So this gun like is really good for accuracy, more so than close quarters. It's not like a personal defense weapon where you can win close quarter kills all the time. Now if you had a red dot sight, that probably would work better for close quarters obviously, but this gun works so much better for medium to long range, especially with the a high powered scope. And if you're thinking of putting a high powered scope like a rifle scope on an assault rifle, this is definitely the weapon to do it on, because it's the one that won't be, or it's actually the only assault rifle that will really be enhanced by such a weapon or such a scope, in my opinion. Though, you know, you can put it on other weapons like the M16A3, but it's just so much more inaccurate, in my opinion, when you do that. So that's just my opinion on that. Now, one thing that the An-94 does not excel at, in fact, is probably one of the worst in this class, is the reload times, because the reload times are it's 2.45 while loaded and 3.3 seconds while empty, which is a ridiculously long time for an assault rifle. When you compare it to the M16A3, which has a 1.8 second reload time while loaded, but only a 2.2 reload time while empty, it just shows the difference between the best and worst in the class. I'm not sure if this is the actual worst in the assault rifle class, but it's one of them, and it's just bear in mind about it. So if you're actually in a battle with several opponents and you run out of bullets, better to pull out your secondary weapon than try and attack with or try to reload, because you will not have time to reload. So anyway, just bear that in mind. Has a decent enough velocity as well, the An-94, with 600 meters per second, which is pretty standard for assault rifles. Some go to 700, 750, but most of them are around 600 to 500, which gives it a max distance of 900 meters. But you're not going to hit a shot like that unless you have a scope like a rifle scope or so on it. And it's still very difficult to hit shots like that. But you could definitely get shots in the whole 100 to 200 meters easily, just like with a sniper with this gun, because it's just really good for the mid to long range, as I mentioned a few times, I'm sure. Now, like I said before, it is pretty much like an SKS or a sniper rifle. That's the way to use it. Like, you don't want to run around not as I'm doing now, but you just don't want to run around too much, because if you run around at close quarters, you're bound to get killed. And this gun is accurate, so it punishes you for like not being able to spray. Like if you go around with an assault rifle, you have a bit more leeway. You can spray your bullets when you want to, and you'll get away with not hitting your target as often, because you have a wider area to like just aim. But with this, you have to be bang on target. If you're off by like a centimeter, you miss your target, and that means you're pretty much dead, you know, unless of course they don't see you and you can run to cover. But like I'm saying, best not to try your chances, you know. And that's pretty much my stats on the An-94. So I hope you guys like that. It's just pretty much useful information, because I haven't really used this gun in a video before, so it's nice to give some background information, which I'm sure most people already know, of course, but hey. But yeah, so this random class setup, it's delayed in coming, like I mentioned, but I think it's a pretty decent one anyway, and I'm sorry to have done it on not Shahir canals, because that was not my intent. But when you're playing team deathmatch, most of the quick match games just bring you into this map anyway, and I wasn't bothered, you know, looking around for a better one. Like, this map is decent enough once you like play properly, and like I usually just run around like you saw in the last video, but I could do that with the class I was using. But this class, one of the reasons why I actually wanted this class, in fact, means you sort of have to play with a different playstyle than I usually do. You can't just charge around and hope for the best. Like, you have to actually play a bit more tactically, and that's what I like, because changing your playstyle is really important, and that's sort of what this whole random classing is about, to get me to try out different playstyles and different weapons. And I think it's working out pretty well, because this game's going pretty well, and the last one went really well too. And this is the only time I used the An-94, like the first game, especially with the scope. So hope you guys liked the gameplay, and I hope you guys liked the commentary. I know it was a bit weird, and I was talking about stats a bit much, and it might be a bit boring, but you know, I didn't come top in my group. You know, I came fourth, I think, in the overall game, fourth or fifth. But that's still pretty decent, considering I'm using a class I'm unfamiliar with, and you know, a weapon that I'm unfamiliar with too. So guys, I'll leave the commentary here. I hope you liked the gameplay. I hope you liked the commentary. Please leave a comment, and talk to you guys later. Happy gaming.